We begin with good news for people whose travel plans happen to include London. Heathrow Airport says it expects to be able to restart flights within the coming hours. Airport officials say some flights will resume tonight with full operation beginning Saturday morning. Passengers are being told not to travel to the airport until their airlines give them the green light to do so. Europe's busiest airport was closed on Thursday night by a power outage that was caused by a fire at an electrical substation. The blaze is being investigated by counter-terror police, but they have said there's no indications of foul play. The head of British Airways says it will be a major logistical challenge for airlines to resume their flight schedules as aircraft and crews may not be in place to fly when Heathrow reopens.
This is an unprecedented situation, and we have not seen a closure of Heathrow on this scale for many years. Unfortunately, it will have a huge impact on all of our customers flying with us over the coming days. Our colleagues are working extremely hard to support our customers with the most up-to-date information in a live and evolving situation.
Well, for more, I'm joined now by Preece. He's an associate professor in future power systems at the University of Manchester. Professor, it's good to have you with us. I want to start by just asking you, how does Europe's busiest airport suddenly lose all of its power? How is that possible?
Yeah, so it seems like Heathrow was very reliant on this one substation to provide a very large proportion of its energy, of its electricity. And then what's happened is that's been combined with a transformer failure, which was so severe, it was catastrophic. You've seen the pictures. That fire means that you have to shut down not just that transformer, but the whole substation. So that's a level of disturbance that the system just isn't really designed for. So being able to take out one transformer would be fine, but losing all the transformers in the substation at once, that's too much, and that's clearly overwhelmed the kind of backup generators that Heathrow has in place.
Let me ask you, as a power expert, should this type of power outage even be possible in the year 2025 when we're talking about Europe's busiest airport?
Yeah, so there's some questions there about how much you're willing to pay for backups. You could get enough backup generation in place to be able to cover all of that. You could also look at things that you could try and divest the energy supply so it's not so reliant just on that one critical substation. But that will also depend on rerouting power, seeing what capacity is available from other substations. Certainly, I think it's raising some questions about how this critical infrastructure has been supplied.
And Professor, I'm thinking that an airport like Heathrow is like a modern-day hospital, that you have to have backup power supplies to ensure that there is no break in the power supply. That did not happen, apparently, at Heathrow. Do we know why that was possible?
So from what I've seen reported, they're saying that the backups worked, but the backups aren't big enough to deal with this size of outage. So in order to deal with something this big, you'd either have to have bigger backups, or you could maybe look at kind of splitting the power supply so you can keep the essential functions running, but maybe the shops and things like that are shut down. But that's a very technical and difficult thing to rewire an airport if it's not already configured like that.
But if I'm understanding you correctly, it sounds like you're saying this is not an issue of electrical engineering. This is an issue of what the corporate bosses were willing to do and willing to pay for.
I mean, all of electricity and electricity supply comes down to how much you're willing to pay and what level of risk you're willing to accept. So you can always pay more and have a more resilient system and have more backups in place and backups for those backups. But obviously, at some point, you're paying for systems that are overly redundant and never need to be used. So I guess if this fire had never happened, people would never know and wouldn't be worried at all.
So if you were advising the powers that be at Heathrow Airport tomorrow what needs to be done to ensure that this never happens again, what would you tell them that they should do first?
Well, I think they've acknowledged themselves that the electrical supply into Heathrow is a little bit of a weak point. So and this has clearly shown that to be the case. So I think some examination of how they can improve the resilience of their system, not just to this type of disturbance, but to any type of disturbance. This includes things like cyber threats or even like climate threats. I'm sure they're already looking at all of those factors, but yeah, I think this incident clearly shows the importance of investigating those things.
Okay, Professor Robin Preece from the University of Manchester, we appreciate your time and your valuable insights tonight. Thank you.